The question is Palantir or PLTY? Which one is a better investment for you? Now, that really depends on what you're looking to do. Are you looking to be more involved or are you looking more for the passive income? And I think if you know the answer to that question, then you could probably answer that question yourself pretty quickly. But I've done some research. I've looked into both Palantir and PLTY. Now, PLTY is yieldmax's newest fund that is trading options on Palantir. So I actually made a video about Palantir a couple of days ago and posted that. I'll put it at the end of this video if you want to learn more about PLTY and Palantir. But the purpose of this video is to discuss which one's the better option for you. And I want to just kind of share a couple of different examples here, and you let me know which one's better for you. For me, I'm currently invested in Nvidia and Misty, and the two reasons that or the one reason I'm in both of those funds is that the underlying stock itself is more expensive. So, they're in the $100 range. And I do like the ability to trade options, but those aren't in my budget. So I've purchased Nvidia and Misty and let yieldmax trade the options for me. And I like that a lot. I get my dividend every single month. This month is $1.09 for Nvidia, and I'm 85% satisfied with that return. And I'm actually going to take that money and then go put it straight into Misty as soon as I get it tomorrow or Monday, because I'm trying to build up Misty. Right now, the reason I don't own both of these underlying is due to their costs. So Nvidia and Misty both well over $100, and I would love to trade options on both of them, but they're just not in my budget. So that's the reason why. Now, yieldmax has just recently come out. Only a couple of days ago, came out with a new yieldmax fund called PLTY. I'm calling it PLTY. You call it whatever you want, but this is the same type of premise as Nvidia and Misty, but they're trading options on Palantir. Palantir's stock symbol is PLTR. So a lot of people in my comments said, why would you buy PLTY when you can just buy Palantir? I want to explain that to you really quickly here. It's kind of difficult to find PLTY stock symbol on Google right now. I went into CNBC and I found it here. It's also in my trading platform as well. But yeah, PLTY was the first fund that came out of yieldmax at the $50 range. And they did that for a couple of reasons. The one main reason is they're trying to reduce or increase the amount of time for share depreciation, so that has a long run of paying out dividends before they even kind of get to that subject, right? So that's good. I like that $50 starting point. I think it started just over $50, but I'll go ahead and reduce my face here. Bring that down. Here's on CNBC's website. Currently trading at 51.58. So it's up a little bit since it's come out, which is fine. That's great. And that is good. That is good for sure. But I want to talk to you about options. So what a lot of people said in my last video was that why would you get PLTY and have yieldmax do the options for you when you could buy Palantir for cheaper than PLTY? And that's a great point. So a lot of people that are in yieldmax don't know how to trade options. Maybe they don't want to know. They just like the income, the convenience, the ease of just getting money. And I totally get that. Totally agree. So if that's you, PLTY, not a bad choice. But a lot of people are starting to explore the options world. And I'm only talking to you if you are like really interested in Palantir, you think it's got a strong future, things like that. Okay, so Palantir stock itself today is at or very close to an all-time high, $43.16. So the underlying, this is one of the first times this has happened. It might be the first time it's happened. The underlying is actually cheaper, less expensive than the yield max fund option. This generally doesn't happen. So yieldmax said every new fund's coming out, it's going to be $50. Generally, or I don't even have to say generally, every single other underlying stock has been more expensive than $50. So that's why a lot of people found it to be useful to buy the yieldmax fund and just sit back and collect the dividends. Makes sense to me. But for this one, it doesn't really make sense to me. Um, unless you want to just sit back and relax, right? So Palantir itself, 43.13, all-time highs, great, love it. What a beast, right? And so, again, if you want to learn more about Palantir, stick to the end here. I've got a Palantir video which talks to you a little bit more about what they do. But the purpose of this video is to position a choice between PLTY and Palantir, right? So which one would you choose? And for me, I have traded options in the past. So I wanted to take a look at that first, and then we're going to take a look to see how PLTY is doing so far this month. So first I'm going to do pop into my Questrade account here. This is updating every second, and I'll even zoom in just a little bit here for you. If I can. I can't zoom in. Sorry, guys. But what I'm thinking about here is October 11th, right? So that's next week. What if we were to do a wheel purchase on Palantir? And I want to just forewarn you guys, I'm not an expert on the wheel. I've actually never done the wheel before, but it's I've created a new account over at IBKR so that I can start doing the wheel. And this would be a prime example of that. So you would want to do, or what I would want to do is something called a cash secure put. So I would need to have $4,100 sitting in my account as an example to be able to trade options. So give me a moment here. And let me change it up to the 18th, right? So the 11th is tomorrow. There's not going to be juicy premiums for one day out. So let's go to the 18th, which is this next Friday coming up. Let's just play hypothetical. Let's say I will buy Palantir if it gets to $41. So it's a $2.18 decrease, but because of that, I'm going to get a premium of 39 cents per share, and you have to buy 100 of them, right? So one contract is 100, so that would be $39 just for saying, putting my money out there, saying I will go ahead and buy 100 shares if it gets to $41. So that's me trading options, right? And then let's say I got assigned at $41. I could say for the following week, I'll put them up for auction. I'll write something called a covered call, and it would at $42. So if the price gets to $42 or above, I sell them at 42, and I get a premium for that. So you can kind of see over on the left-hand side the different premiums. Now, the numbers would be different because I had bought them at 41. So the numbers would be different, but if we go down towards now, let's say $43, let's say we bought it at 43 and then I sold it at 44, $1 more, you're looking at 81 cents per share times 100, so $81 or $80 now for that option. So this is just a weekly on Palantir, and these numbers do change, as you can see by the numbers on the screen here all the time, and they're not guaranteed, right? But the point I'm trying to make here is why buy 100 shares of PLTY when you can do it yourself? And yeah, you could do it yourself, but I mean, I can see it from both sides. A lot of people are a little nervous trading options because there is a lot of risk involved with it. So I have spent some time on YouTube. I went around and I looked for different channels that talk about options, and I found two people that I really liked. So if that's something you want to do, don't trust me on the options stuff. It's not something that I do often. In fact, right now I haven't done it in probably a year, but it's definitely something I want to do. And for me, I watch these two guys right here. Let's take a look here. My Life of Learning. This guy right here has some very, very good examples, and the other one is Brad here. Brad Finn is the channel name. Talks about the wheel strategy. If you're looking to spend some more time on YouTube, these two could be good resources for you to learn how to trade the wheel or how to trade options itself. Both of them are fantastic in my opinion, that's for sure. So I'm going to tag them both on the video here. But that's just a thought, right? Why buy PLTY? Where is it here? PLTY for $51 when you can buy Palantir itself. If you believe in Palantir as a growth company, why not buy Palantir and trade options with that? So for $4,300, you could sell cover calls. If you were just to buy the shares, you can just go straight to cover calls, which is even easier than the wheel strategy for sure. Now, there is risk involved. I know for me, I was trading at a lower dollar amount. I was trading with a stock symbol called Riot, and making $50 to $200 a week on a $700 down payment, if you will, or payment for those shares at the time. It was good. I liked it. But what happens when the stock slips, right? So if you were here with Palantir and you said, yeah, I'll buy it at $41 and it goes to $38, well, you bought it at $41. So that's the risk. There's a downside risk there. And then the upside risk is, let's say you own those shares, let's say at $43, and you said, I will sell these shares if it gets to 44 and the stock skyrockets to 60. Well, you sold them at 44, right? So similar to what yieldmax does with the capped money that we've been getting on Nvidia and Misty, right? Very similar to that for sure. So I just wanted to kind of share those options with you. I know that some people in my comments said, why would I buy PLTY? And for those people, the reason why is because you can put your money there and make somebody else do the work for you. That's probably the main reason. Ease, comfort, flexibility. You have somebody else doing the work for you. Passive income. Whereas if you're trading options, then it's not so passive anymore. You're having to do the work, take the risk, do all of that yourself. So I can see it from both sides. My personal preference would probably go by Palantir in this example and do the options myself, right? So all I need to kind of muster up here is if I did the wheel, $4,100 to be able to put that out there for a bid of $41 per share, right? So if I wanted to do cover calls, I would need to have $4,315 worth of shares to make 100 shares, and then I could do the cover call after that. I wanted to take a look at how this option's doing this week. Like I said, it's brand new, only a couple of days in. And so they have 2,585,000 in net assets. Like we mentioned here, it's brand new, so it doesn't have a ton of assets, but it's definitely going up a little bit here. They got some money in the U.S. Treasuries, just like every other fund does. They also have a synthetic option here for December the 20th. Right, 635 positions. Looks like they also have it. Yeah. Okay, perfect. 635 here too. Not a ton of cash at the moment. And then they have closing on tomorrow, 635 positions here at $40.50. So I believe, don't quote me, this came out on Tuesday. Today is Thursday. They have this closing tomorrow, October 11th, for $40.50. So what they're hoping is that Palantir itself doesn't go above $40.50 by tomorrow. Let's take a look to see what Palantir stock is today. $43.12. So not starting off to a great start here. And I'm not too sure. I mean, let's go back 5 days here. Let's go to Tuesday. Tuesday, yeah, there it was, $40.56 on Tuesday. So on Tuesday is when maybe they did it on Monday night. I don't know. But on Tuesday, they said, okay, $40.50. So they nailed it right on the dot, probably to get that max premium. But now they're going to have to, if this price stays the same, they're going to have to close that option, and they're going to have to pay money to close that option. They're probably going to lose money on this transaction. This was a clear, obvious case that they needed to bid above $40 on their call. You know, $2, $3 more. And here we go. We wouldn't have had this much of a mistake this early on. So that's a pretty simple one. You know, if I'm trading calls, if I'm trading covered calls, I'm probably going to trade for $1 or $2 more than my average cost of that, so that I can get some premium, but also some upside value if that stock decides to go up over the week. Again, I'm an amateur. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I can clearly see that that would have been a better option for sure, right? I get that they're trying to make premium for their new shareholders in PLTY, but we can see that that was a mistake almost immediately. So what would you do if you were to invest, if you had $4,000, let's say $4,300, what would you do? Would you put it into PLTY, let them do all the work for you, or are you considering doing the work yourself with the options yourself on PLTR, which is Palantir? For me, I'm not invested in either. Just full disclosure there. I just wanted to bring that to your attention, let you decide what's better for you Palantir holders and you PLTY holders. But I think, you know, it definitely is something to think about. And again, the reason that I don't do options with NVIDIA and Misty is just because the cost of the underlying stock is outside of my budget. You guys have seen my budget, and if it was closer to my budget, I would definitely consider it. For me, I'm looking to do options. I'm thinking about a couple of different ones out there. I don't know. I'm so used to Riot and how it goes up and down and the volatility of it, that could be a good one. And I mean, it's definitely affordable for me as well. It's in my budget, so that could be a good one. One last thing before I go here. Tomorrow, Group B is going to be paid out. PLTY is also in Group B, but it won't be paid out till a month from now, when the Group B gets reannounced. And so I'm taking my NVIDIA money. I think I'm going to put it straight into Misty tomorrow. I know I like to wait for the ex-dividend date, but I think that Misty dividend is going to be pretty good, considering it's had, 6 weeks of play. And I want to be able to have my money in there to be able to maximize the dividends that I get. So that's going to be it for me today. If you enjoyed this video, hold on one second, everybody. One moment. There we go. If you enjoyed this video, click over here, right there. And I got the Palantir and the PLTY video for you. I hope you have an awesome Thursday. Talk to you soon. This is Health and Wealth. My name is Mike. Bye for now.